Shooter needs to reach in and unlock a door. That's all they're looking for.
People are nervous around interacting with officers.
Sometimes there is help, but people make you have to jump through hoops to get it.
Hey everybody, I'm Lewis Bolden, and this is Solutionaries. A solutionary is someone who recognizes a problem or injustice in society and then comes up with creative and innovative ways to tackle those inequities. They help make the world a better place, one step at a time. On this show, we put a spotlight on dozens of these problem solvers all over the country, really. Today, we have 4 inspiring stories to share with you. 4 groups dedicating their time and energy to helping others and even saving lives. Our first story is out of Jacksonville, Florida. Florida has one of the highest incarceration rates in the country, meaning tens of thousands of people are leaving jail and returning to society.
Recidivism, the tendency of a convicted criminal to reoffend. The Florida Department of Corrections defines it as a return to prison because of a new conviction or violation within 3 years of release.
One of the main concerns for people in Jacksonville is crime. And we see that revolving door for some people with one arrest after another. What if we could help them become a thriving, healthy part of our community through rehab, counsel, and support?
Are you in favor of funding this to help cut down on crime? We received dozens of responses. Michael says the immediate solution must be a balanced approach of both prevention and restoration. The long-term solution is equal application of community resources and jobs to give people some hope. A number of others said funding more prisons is the answer. Melissa says prevention is the key. We're never going to build a better city if we don't find a solution to the crime.
Just one, that's all I need, just one to understand what I done been through, and I'm all right with it. Because I know everybody ain't going, everybody don't, a lot of people don't really care.
Take a look at this data from the FDOC. A 2022 report shows that of the inmates released from prison in 2018, 21.2% were back in prison within 3 years. That's a percentage that's down slightly from a decade earlier. Now, these reports don't include those sentenced to jail, so the rate in Florida is likely higher.
Prisoners of Christ is a nonprofit that sets up returning citizens with houses, jobs, and behavioral therapy. They mostly help people who were sentenced to life with violent felony charges. And since 2019, not a single person who successfully completed their year-long program has reoffended or returned to prison or jail.
We spoke to a man who says Prisoners of Christ saved his life.
I can come back here if you want to.
Meet Julian Foster.
I just go out and enjoy myself a little bit, I like to go out and eat a lot.
When he's not out to eat or with family, Foster keeps it simple.
Being that this is my first car,
He takes good care of his car,
if I don't do this every week, I might have a lot of sand in there.
pays attention to detail,
I've actually adjusted to a lot of the things that's going on.
and stays on top of his responsibilities. We caught up with him leaving probation.
A lot of people look at probation, they be like, man, it's a crutch. You know what I'm saying? It kind of hinders me from a lot of the things that I do. But really, it helps me because it keeps me focused. It keeps me on straight and narrow.
Is it hard?
Really, it's not.
This coming from a man who spent 28 and a half years in prison.
That was during the time, actually, my mom had passed during this time.
At 17, he was sentenced to life without parole for second-degree murder. Before that, he was in and out of the jail, racking up 44 charges of robbery and gun possession.
We just had a crazy mindset during the time, and I was also following after some guys. So
Was it a want or was it a need for you to commit those robberies? Why did you do it?
probably a need at the time. I didn't have money. And we was, like I said, we was young and didn't know any better.
Because he was sentenced as a minor, a Supreme Court decision meant he had the chance for a resentencing. They agreed to his release, and that's when he learned about Prisoners of Christ.
This type of service provides a true second chance for individuals who want to change their life, but it also gives them the skills to not reoffend, which reduces victimization and future crimes.
Jacksonville does care. It's just a matter of backing that up with with some legislation and some dollars.
We spoke with Mayor Donna Deegan, who agrees these programs need funding, and we asked her what the long-term plan is for restorative justice.
We feel like reentry is one of the places where we can look at that we could really move the dial, and we have to look at the programs that are available, some of the innovations that are coming forward. I've got several meetings coming up on that with several different people of things that we could do to make sure that these folks have an opportunity to thrive once they come out of prison.
I'm just glad that I fulfilled the promise that I made to my mother. I told her that when I get out, I told her that I'm going to get out. And when I do get out, I'm going to do everything I'm supposed to do right.
Foster is grateful for Prisoners of Christ.
If I didn't have Prisoners of Christ, I probably wouldn't be this far.
He went into prison as a teen, feeling no hope for his future.
I used to be angry. I used to be bitter. I used to feel like everybody was at me, you know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't care.
He came out with support, a key part of his success now.
Sometimes you got to think outside the box. You can't think that just because a person committed a crime or has committed crimes that they're always going to be felons. People change.
He just needs the city to act on his behalf and for people like him.
Why should people care about someone like you?
Because I'm always going to strive to do better. And I'm going to care about the people that's around me also.
Starting a new life is extremely difficult, especially after prison or after escaping an abusive relationship. Next is a Solutionary creating a haven for those without a place to call home.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Good. This is for your post.
Thank you, ma'am. I had left California because I didn't want to get beat no more. I was on meth, and I had to have a boyfriend. And I get Social Security, and every time I had got money, he wanted to do meth. And when I would say, no, I want to get a room, I would get beat up really bad. Like the scar here, he smashed my glasses into my face. And I would get beat, every time I would want to do something on my own. I came here and I was homeless here too.
I found myself in an abusive relationship, and I was in another state where I didn't have any family and not many friends. And so I stayed in that relationship for 5 years until I finally enough was enough. And the abuse turned towards my son, and so we had to get out. So my story is really the message behind what we do, and I know I didn't have anyone there. I made a promise to God at one point in time in my life and said, if you'll get me out of this and my son out of this alive, then I promise I will be there for someone. I kind of thought it'd just be one someone, but this is what it's turned into. So it's important to me that we're there to be that one person in their life they can count on.
Kristen Stillwell created Hope Haven, a 501c nonprofit focusing on getting those unsheltered into a place of lifelong self-sufficiency.
Here you go.
While most groups like hers work in major cities, she found a larger need in suburbs and rural areas.
So we get about 50 phone calls a day of people seeking help.
Sergeant Ray Perez is Harris County Constable Precinct 2's homeless outreach team because law enforcement is often stretched thin. 3 years ago, he paired up with Hope Haven. They've gotten roughly 200 unsheltered people off the streets.
We wouldn't get as far in success as we have. The collaboration is the key to success, always. And anyone who doesn't have that mindset, you're doomed to fail. If it wasn't for Hope Haven, if it wasn't for having help us magnify that human factor.
Stillwell saw a need to support people escaping domestic violence with nowhere to go. If you need to break free from violence, start by calling the Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. They'll put you in touch with groups like Hope Haven to get you the resources. But like our law enforcement friends, resources are getting thinner because of rising inflation.
What we do is hard out there, and then we also need funders. So we can get grants for certain things, but you have to match those grant funds with individual and business funds. So it's just this whole three-legged thing. So in this world, this is not the world you want to be fundraising in, let me just say that. When a family doesn't have the money to pay their gas and to buy their food, the last thing they're going to do is offer money up for an organization to help other people. So as people are struggling in this economy, your smaller nonprofits are struggling in this economy. We don't have big endowments to get us through the day. And so we've had to slim down our staff to where we're 5 full-time staff right now. That's just what has to happen when we don't have the funds.
Ultimately, that means they wouldn't be able to help people like Stephanie get through her personal trauma.
So it's very hard to get away from, because you feel that's love. That person loves you, and it's not love. It's not love. And I even told my husband when we first got together, "You don't love me." And he said, "What?" I said, "You're not hitting me, so you don't love me." And that's not true. I found that out, that's not true.
Coming up after the break.
When they flex, we're actually reading that using electromyography.
The Orlando company creating bionic limbs for kids with help from college students. Next on Solutionaries.
I had a burning bush experience in 1998 where literally God called me and he told me that great things was going to happen at this church. I'm the instrument, but he plays the music.
Meet a solutionary, a person that we're highlighting that's making a positive change in their community. This time around, it's Pastor Barry with Church of the Messiah, and he's done a whole lot, from putting over 400 kids through college to even helping the homeless people nearby find a place to live. He's simply done everything in between and so much more.
I am the priest and pastor of Church of the Messiah, Detroit.
To say that Barry Randolph is a crucial component to his community is probably an understatement.
But I had a burning bush experience in 1998 where literally God called me and he told me that great things was going to happen at this church. I'm the instrument, but he plays the music.
His ministry does everything possible to help the people nearby. The biggest is what the church does for the homeless people to give them affordable housing.
We have built or rehabbed 213 units of housing in this neighborhood called Island View. We also own 49 vacant lots. And we always say you can't gentrify a neighborhood if you own it.
For the residents living there, the church helps them stay connected to the web with their own internet service.
We got Comcast, AT&T, and Church of the Messiah. We provide the internet just like them. Our service is even a little bit faster than theirs too.
And it's ordinary members that are trained to upkeep the service and install the equipment.
We literally took Ray and Pookie from the neighborhood, sent them to school, taught them how to be able to provide the internet. So we provide it for the people who can't afford it.
The church also has what they call a business incubator to help members become entrepreneurs.
We have a clothing line, video production company, candle company, bow tie company, all started by people in the community and neighborhood. So the church is the place you can come and start a business.
Helping those once in trouble with the law to find work is also a major area of focus for the church.
What we do is we actually help people who are formerly incarcerated get jobs. So sometimes the judge will call and say, Pastor Barry, we need to get this person a job. They may be a little bit hard to employ, and we help them find a job.
The impact that he's made on other lives say a lot about his mission, but Dwight Ralston is a young man who loves how Pastor Barry's down to earth.
He's what pastors should be, in my opinion. And there are a lot of other pastors in the city, there are a lot of other churches I could go to, but that is my church because of the work. And then the word.
Finally, Church of the Messiah has an 84-member marching band, which has helped hundreds go to college.
The directors are either teachers or professors to help them get into school. And over the past 11 years, over 400 kids have gone through that program.
There's a radio show hosted by the church as well.
The role of the leader is to hold the space. My job is to hold the space. Once my time is up, to pass the baton.
Part of that vision is creating a society where people can thrive and be self-sufficient.
Here we believe a virgin had a baby. So if a virgin had a baby, we can build houses, we can educate our people, we can get our people jobs, get them employed, we can provide the internet, we can bring them out of poverty, we can change the mindset.
He realizes the work will always be necessary.
As long as there are people, as long as there's poverty and illiteracy, as long as there's homelessness, there's always going to be a need.
And Pastor Barry is always looking for donations from people to continue the work that Church of the Messiah continues to do. But if there's anyone that you would also like for us to showcase, remember we're always looking for those who are making a positive impact on their communities.
Becoming a solutionary doesn't always start with a call from God. With a little luck, a lot of ambition, and a touch of star power, a Central Florida company is changing kids' lives one bionic arm at a time.
Albert Monero says he was stuck in traffic listening to the radio. And he heard an interview with a man who built 3D printed mechanical hands.
And when he got back to his lab here at the University of Central Florida, he told everybody inside he wants to be part of that.
8 weeks later, he was fitting a child for his first bionic arm, capturing the attention of a Hollywood megastar.
We are going to show you how this organization is fulfilling a really big need, how these prosthetics are helping young children, and why Monero says he can't help everybody yet. First, let's take you inside Limitless Solutions.
My name is Albert Monero, and I'm the Executive Director of Limitless Solutions here at the University of Central Florida. This is our kind of our visual timeline of where we started kind of at that kitchen table in 2014, and then fast forwarding all the way into the today and all the new work that's being done by our team.
So this was the first arm?
That was Alex's very first arm here in July of 2014.
This video shows Monero,
we're looking for 912,
leading 6-year-old Alex Pring to pick up that first arm from someone who knew a little bit about robotics.
Ready?
Yep.
Great.
Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr.
Each one looks the same.
Actually, I think yours might be better than mine. It's a marriage of robotic technologies. Good job, Albert.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Albert has made it so affordable. I'm probably going to start farming out a lot of my tech work to Albert, too.
10 years later,
the only thing we asked for is glasses in this room.
Okay. Monero showed us the lab that grew from his kitchen table.
This is an injection molding machine, which is letting us help build the next version of the bionic arms.
Starting with the design.
So every family that goes through our program gets to go on our website. They have a portal login, and then they will actually go through customizing their bionic arm.
My background as an undergraduate was in biomedical sciences as my major. However, my minor was in studio art. And so it's not often that you can find a place that can really harness and utilize both to such a great extent. I'm going in on a sleeve, and I'm actually just customizing my own colors on them as well. It's 3D printed.
A lightweight plastic sleeve is created from a 3D printed mold like this one. Workers then piece everything together in the lab to create this, a robotic arm that helps kids who need a hand.
You don't gotta use your thumbs and get sore every single time.
Alex and other kids like him use specially developed video games to learn how to use their new hands.
When they flex, we're actually reading that using electromyography. So just like the bionics arms work, the video game controller reads the muscle flex on their bicep. This is our game design team.
Hey guys.
This team of UCF students helps design new training games.
This is kind of the layout of that game being developed, where the character will be running through the level and it has to interact with certain puzzles. So that could be like a Simon Says kind of puzzle, where you flex different gestures in order to engage in the world, and that's how we help reinforce their training for using their bionic arm.
Got it. And I'll bet you half the time they don't realize they're training.
That is the goal.
So where is Alex the Iron Boy now? Well, you may not believe this, he's actually playing football here at South Lake High School in Groveland, Florida.
I have had to overcome so many things, how to tackle, how to run. It's like learning how to walk again. It's a lot.
He's playing football now.
Yeah, I saw it in the news. He's a linebacker. He's taller than me. We're so proud of him, watching him continue to grow every year, and it's been such a blessing.
Do you see yourself as a solution? Do you see Limitless Solutions
Limitless
as a solution?
Solutions, yes. So that was our goal, was it doesn't end with just like the bionic arm or just the design work, but that these can be something that grow and we can spin off into new technology. As we continue to develop our work at Limitless, the goal is to just continue to add more of those solutions into our portfolio.
Thanks for watching another episode of Solutionaries. If you missed any part of the show or want to check out other shows, head over to News 6 Plus. It is a streaming app for your smart TV. It's free to download and easy to watch all of your favorite News 6 programming. I'm Louis Bolden. See you next time.